Hey there everyone, I'm Blake1 Studios and welcome back to another video here on my channel. Now I know this is a little different from what I normally do. I'll get to all that in a little bit. I know it's been a long time since I've made videos here on this channel, and I'll explain all of that later on in a later video. I just want to get back into this YouTube thing, and there was some very big YouTube news that not very many people have heard about yet that was announced today. A big change coming to YouTube that I think is very interesting. Not very many people have heard of this. This was posted on kind of like a weird, a weird section of the YouTube website that not very many people see. And they only tweeted it out once, and basically this hasn't gotten not a whole lot of people have heard about this yet. News outlets are only just starting to pick this up. So I want to talk about this. I want to hopefully open up a bit of discussion. And a lot of you who follow me also run your own YouTube channels. You also use YouTube a lot. And so I want to make sure you know that this change is coming as well. YouTube is just notoriously bad at communicating updates and changes to their site. We've seen this time after time after time again. So I want to make sure you know exactly what's happening. And I'm going to go ahead and explain all of this right here. So basically, YouTube wants to abbreviate the number of subscribers that people see when they're on your channel. You might think, oh, that's not a big deal at all. No, who cares? Yeah, sure, YouTube can do whatever they want. And yeah, so to some extent, yeah. So when I go on over to my channel, for example here, and I see the number of subscribers, which I've got right here, you can see it shows the full number, 1,312. What YouTube wants to do is they want to change that to 1.3K. And they already do this in certain sections of the YouTube website and certain sections of the mobile app and TVs and stuff like that. They're trying to put it consistently everywhere, the same thing. Well, you might think, well, why can't they just put the full number everywhere? I don't know. It's a user interface thing. This types of stuff bug user interface designers. It really does. And so if there's even the smallest bit of inconsistency, they want to go out and fix that in whatever way they can. And this really seems like a giant user interface decision here. But there's also a culture aspect to it that I think we should talk about as well, and I'll get to that in a little bit. So rather than seeing 1,312, you'd see 1.3K. Or if someone has, I don't know, 130,000 subscribers, and you, instead of seeing that full number, you would just see 130K. And YouTube explained this very clearly, but there are some implications to this that you probably haven't already thought of. So let's go into this a little bit more and let's read their blog post, and I'll explain some of my thoughts on this. I wouldn't say I'm necessarily opposed or against this. It's an interesting change that impacts YouTube in a lot of ways. So let's go ahead and read it really fast and I'll explain. So this is from Jordan from Team YouTube. He says, currently, all creators with over 1,000 subscribers see their subscriber counts displayed differently in different places across YouTube desktop and mobile apps. In some cases, the subscriber count is abbreviated, for example, 133K. And in other places, we display the full count of subscribers. So in this example, he gives 133,117 subscribers. So he continues the way that's basically what I just explained. He continues, this is their solution to fix it. To create more consistency everywhere that we publicly display subscriber counts, starting in August of 2019, we'll begin showing the abbreviated subscriber number across all public YouTube services. Third parties that use YouTube's API services will also access the same public-facing counts that you see on YouTube. Creators will also will still be able to see their exact subscriber number in YouTube Studio. So I want to emphasize that once again, this doesn't change for you. You can still see the exact number of subscribers that you have. So basically what I just explained in a nutshell. But I want to emphasize this sentence right here. The third parties that use YouTube's API and services will also access the same public-facing counts that you see on YouTube. Now that's an interesting one because there's a website that we all know and love called SocialBlade, socialblade.com. And SocialBlade is like an analytics service. They started out with YouTube, now they do other social media sites as well. And what you can do is you can head on over to socialblade.com and you can see all of your analytics on SocialBlade. You can see, you know, the number of subscribers you have, the number of views you get, and you can see this on whatever channel you want. So if I were to type in, I don't know, PewDiePie, for example, if the website will let me do that, you would see a bunch of statistics on PewDiePie, and you could also see the exact number of subscribers he has updating in real time. So if you just head on over here to the live subscriber count, you can just sit here and watch PewDiePie subscribers go up and down, up and down, up and down. And it just updates in real time. So yeah, you can see it. And this is using, of course, the exact number, not an abbreviated number. Now this is a big change because what's implied right here is third parties, aka sites like SocialBlade that use YouTube's API, will also access the same public-facing counts that you see on YouTube, which implies the abbreviated number, basically ruining SocialBlade. There's no other way to put it out. This is very vague. They're not obviously going to come out and say that sites like SocialBlade are impacted, but what this does imply is that sites like SocialBlade will definitely be impacted. So keep that in mind. Now, of course, we got the tweet on Twitter here. You can see they basically said the same thing, and they gave a link to the article. And judging from the article, I don't think very many people have seen this. There's only like 77 people who gave it an upvote, and only 23 people replied to it. So something tells me maybe people didn't see this as much. I'm just guessing. And of course the tweet only has like 730 likes. Only 600 people responded to it. So again, people probably haven't seen this yet. So this person here responded asking if this will mess anything up for SocialBlade, and SocialBlade responded saying, we get our data from YouTube's API, which should continue to show accurate data for subscriber count. So basically they're saying this wouldn't impact them. But then this guy right here, Devin Temple, pointed out the sentence that I just showed you about third parties, and basically said what I just said, that it'll show the abbreviated number, and SocialBlade responded saying, upon closer look, it might affect our data display, but only time will tell. So a little bit of uncertainty for SocialBlade here. I bet they're a little concerned. But if you like SocialBlade, it might be changing in the future, unless YouTube gives them some kind of exemption or something like that. Which, to be quite honest with you, I highly doubt that would happen. So let's continue reading here. So what exactly will this look like? For channels with fewer than 1,000 subscribers, the exact non-abbreviated subscriber count will still be shown, because you can't really abbreviate that. Once your channel passes the 1,000 subscriber milestone, we will begin to abbreviate your public subscriber count on a sliding scale. So here they show, you know, it changing, so 4,300 becomes 4.3K, etc., etc. They give a couple of examples right here, so 51 million becomes 51M, etc., etc., the examples I already mentioned earlier. We know subscriber counts are extremely important for creators and fans alike, so we wanted to give everyone a heads up a few months in advance of this change. Well, thanks for doing that. We'll share more specifics with creators as we get closer to the August 2019 date. I don't think I mentioned this, but it starts in August. I want to emphasize that. That's not happening yet. In a couple of months, this change will supposedly roll out. There's already been quite a bit of backlash about this. So a lot of people don't like this. Like I said, I wouldn't say I'm for or against this change. From a user interface perspective, creating consistency is key. This really bugs UX designers quite a lot. And oftentimes UX designers don't like big numbers, unless you're like some analytics tool or something like that. Big numbers on a user interface just isn't what they consider to be pretty. So there's that. But let's also think of this from a YouTube culture perspective, because in the past couple of months, there's been quite a few YouTube controversies where a creator gets called out in a video. I'm not going to name names here or anything like that. And a bunch of people get mad at the person who was called out in a video and start unsubscribing, and they lose a bunch of subscribers, and everyone moves on with their life. And something tells me that a change like this, and it creates all kinds of YouTube drama, and people would create their own live streams and stuff, look at how many subscribers this person is losing, you know, and it happened, they show that page of the real-time subscriber, where instead of this number is going up, this number is going down. So, there you have that. And so if this were to impact SocialBlade, suddenly those live streams would go away, thus making the whole drama aspect kind of disappear, because those abbreviated numbers aren't going to change as much as a live, constantly updating number. So then those live streams become useless, but then also, it kind of, I don't know, I feel like when you see a channel losing a bunch of subscribers, you kind of feel like you've got to unsubscribe as well. You know, join the bandwagon or whatever of people dissing on this person. So do you think maybe this is a change to sort of get rid of YouTube drama? If I don't like someone and I want them to lose a bunch of subscribers, and I go make a diss video or something on them, and then that encourages a bunch of people, and they see people unsubscribing, more people unsubscribing, well, suddenly if you break one of the chains in that chain link, suddenly there's no incentive to go diss a YouTuber other than just to, I don't know, get publicity or something like that. Because suddenly this incentive of, oh, everybody unsubscribe kind of goes away. And I have a feeling that there's that culture aspect to it as well. Of, hey, how can we eliminate this problem on the site, where there's been controversy after controversy after controversy over the past couple of weeks, not involving YouTube, but involving YouTube creators, where someone ends up losing a bunch of subscribers as a result of it. YouTube, do you think maybe YouTube is trying to explore different ways to kind of eliminate that problem? I think it's something to keep in mind as we get closer and closer to this change in the coming months, because obviously there's been quite a few YouTube controversies over the past couple of months. So really, if SocialBlade gets impacted by this, which I have a feeling they will, and I have a feeling if they're trying to eliminate that culture side of things, the whole unsubscribe thing, I have a feeling SocialBlade won't be exempted. They won't be given the exact numbers, because then, well, that kind of defeats the purpose, if you know what I mean. So if SocialBlade gets impacted, man, that is going to stink. I mean, SocialBlade is a really great tool. You get all kinds of graphs and stuff, things like that. It really helped me out when I was first doing YouTube. I mean, that would be a major loss, and I hope SocialBlade comes out of this okay. And of course, I'm sure they're watching this very closely as well, because this is a very important change. As for the change itself, if, say, maybe it didn't impact SocialBlade, I'd say I'd be okay with it. Makes the channel look a bit nicer, makes the user interface of the YouTube app and all that look a little bit nicer, but most people don't care about user interfaces. They just care about seeing the exact number of subscribers, I guess. And there's quite a few arguments here about this. Some people are making the argument of, well, if I see 1,312 as opposed to 1.3K, that seems a bit more legit than 1.3K. Yeah, I can see the exact number of subscribers. So, yeah, you can make that argument as well. There's also a lot of people making the argument of, well, if they're hidden behind this abbreviation, what about bots? Would they be able to bot the number of subscribers easier because no one from the outside can see what they're doing to their subscriber numbers? And that's an interesting argument as well. Obviously, YouTube can, obviously the creator can, but people can't see those exact numbers and how fast they're changing because, well, guess what? Nobody else can see it. So there's no accountability there, and I think that's a very interesting point as well. So like I said, maybe leaning to the more opposed side of this, but it's an interesting change. I'm glad YouTube is giving us a heads up. That's what I want to talk about now, because here we have a pretty major change to the website, and they're giving us, like, what, 3 months advance? That's great. Finally. This is what we want. When you're making major changes like this, give us a heads up, a nice heads up. It would have been nice to have a 3 months heads up before I got demonetized, YouTube. Like, seriously. Now, what YouTube really needs to do is they also need to start fixing how they make these announcements, because here they're using the YouTube help community, where people go and ask questions to get help with their channel. People aren't going here looking for product announcements. If I go on over to the official YouTube blog, and I was very surprised by this. If I go to YouTube blog, I think it's youtube.googleblog.com, which is like the official YouTube blog. It's like a blogger website ran by YouTube. There is nothing about this change. Nothing. the most recent entry was May 2nd. If I head on over to their other blog for YouTube creators, there is no news about this change as well. It's only on this tiny little website that very many people check, and obviously, as you can see, only 77 people have upvoted this, only 23 replies. Not very many people have seen this change, and the tweet hasn't really gotten that much traction either. So yeah, YouTube, you should really be focusing on how you communicate these changes. Be more upfront. People need to see this kind of change before they get blindsided in August. There was no little box or anything talking about the change in YouTube Studio, which is like where you go to manage your channel, which I thought was very surprising. I thought they'd at least have a link or something there. No word on it on the Creator Insider channel, which is supposed to be the place to go for all things YouTube news straight from YouTube. Maybe they'll fix that in the coming weeks. I don't know. But I'm just saying YouTube isn't really effectively communicating this change very well, which is why I'm making a quick video talking about the change. So yeah, that's really all I've got to say about this. Just a heads up, since a lot of you make videos on YouTube for yourself, this change is coming. Be aware. It's not a life or death situation or anything like that. Really shouldn't impact you that much, I don't think. But if you see a lot of backlash, maybe a bunch of people making videos about it, now you have the full story, why it's happening, at least my interpretation of it, that sort of thing. So thank you all so much for watching. Leave a like on the video if you enjoyed. Subscribe if you're new around here. That's all I've got on this quick little YouTube news update. Maybe I'll do more of these in the future. See you all in my next video. Thanks so much for watching.